A comunidade é uma comunidade abençoada, porque a gente mora dentro da floresta.
Eu tenho o sonho de estar aqui na reserva, na unidade, para cuidar do que ainda nós temos.
In Brazil, a lot of the conservation of natural areas requires local communities to participate in the conservation, and really the local communities are the guardians that protect national parks and nature in general. Major goals of a lot of our projects are helping in whatever way we can to promote their autonomy. Also important for their well-being, and they deserve this as human beings, are part of these systems that have existed for longer than we can imagine.
Poncinal Partnership is a student organization at the University of Michigan. And it's mostly made up of a College of Engineering students now that work to design and develop and implement sustainable technology solutions down in the Poncinal region of Brazil.
Be in this part of the world that so many people are never going to be able to experience. It's just so remote. Didn't know communities like this existed. Really a great learning experience to learn about this culture and also learn so much about solar installations, and to be able to have a real impact feels good, and also it's taught me a lot about being an engineer and problem solving in the field.
We took a 3-hour boat ride into the Poncinal to go to an indigenous school there. So we were able to talk with them and then learn, oh, we can power their Starlink, which takes up a lot of their power, so they'll always have internet. So then we got right up on the roof with our 2 panels, and then we were able to wire them through.
Listening to those specific needs of the community rather than just being like, okay, here are lights and here's like a fan for you. We were able to actually make sure that our system met those requirements.
We'll pick sort of a problem that we know that many people are experiencing in rural areas, and then we'll basically iteratively come to an understanding of how we can make something into something that's actually applied and useful for community members.
I think that's a very just important part of listening, is finding what they're coming in with your own ideas of what's going to be done, but also being willing to adapt and like listening to what the community really needs in that moment.
In the Amazon, next to the lodge that we were staying at, was their local schools. We were able to do another solar installation where we set up 4 switches with light bulbs in the ceilings. So then they had outlets that they were able to plug in a water cooler and a fan into. They could kind of stay in school for longer because it gets so hot in the Amazon. So being able to have a fan, being able to have cold water is going to help the students focus, and they can get more value out of their education.
One of the main problems with these communities is that they don't have easy waste disposal.
A lot of the way that trash is removed in a lot of these particularly rural areas is just by burning it. One of our ideas was to try to create an incinerator.
It will help reduce the amount of ash that's being released into the air, which will help reduce the amount of forest fires that are started. And additionally, it will help reduce and filter out a lot of the toxic chemicals that are released when trash is burned, which will help with public health. So while we were in the United States, one of the major considerations we had to take into our design was the resources that would be available to us while we were in Brazil. The goal of our design is that it can be replicated by people here.
The first iteration of our burn barrel didn't work. There was an issue with the temperature, and our filter bag actually melted. And we were able to quickly come together as a team and to problem solve and think about what caused this issue and how to fix it. And it's been really cool being able to, like, in real time, figure out real life applications of these problems.
The ability to think on the spot. There's always problems coming up, and when you're in that situation, you just have to go with it.
The impact for the students that come down here is building creativity and building sort of this understanding of how to work with people that might not have the same level of education, and really open minds to completely different cultural experiences and life experiences.
Poncinal Partnership is so important because we learn a lot from the communities that we work with as well, as much as they learn from us.
The connections that we've made here are gonna be, I think, pretty lifelong.
So I was not expecting to be welcomed and really brought into the community and treated like a friend.
Just absolutely important that these people are able to stay where they want to live and not have to move to a large city where conditions are actually much poorer for them. And ecotourism is a form of tourism that here in Brazil and elsewhere is used as an alternative way of providing local people with money.
O turismo é muito importante porque, além de atender a comunidade toda, as famílias na comunidade que elas necessitam da fonte de renda, nós mantemos também a natureza, principalmente, né, na fiscalização, na vigilância. Para nós termos o ecoturismo, nós temos que ter vigilância. Para nós termos a vigilância, tem que ter o turismo.
Many of the communities that live on the river's edge here are people who have long-term ties with the areas that they live in. These are people who love living where they live. They feel like they're part of the Amazon. They feel like they're part of the Pantanal, and they're communities that really are part of these regions because most of them have some indigenous descent. These people deserve to be able to live their lives where they've historically been living their lives and continue being the guardians of the nature that they belong to.